G.I. Joe fans, Show Motion Videos 82. Here it is time for another G.I. Joe toy review, and this is a video request. This one is for Wetsuit version 3. This one I've been wanting to review for quite some time. Oh, sorry, left my police scanner on. Been listening to DPS, Department of Public Services, or the Highway Patrol. Their substation is just right down the street. Excuse me, throat's a little sore this morning. Yeah, the Wetsuit version 3. Been wanting to review him for some time. Don't know why I didn't pick him up and just review him, but so many different reviews been popping into mind. It's like, hey, I'll review this one and review this one, and Wetsuit just keeps on getting pushed back further and further. This guy was released in 1991 and again in 92, but in different colors. Same wetsuit, but they slathered on orange paint and called him version 4. So I'll pull up different pictures of him, of both wetsuits here in a minute. That was the 90s for you. They would give you the same action figure, put on a different coat of paint, and call it a second version. So let me pull that up for you right now. So you could see, same figure, different colors. They even gave the accessories a different color to match the paint scheme. Very lazy, and they call it a different version. I don't think so. It's the same action figure with just a different paint scheme. That's for the kids that missed it the previous year, and oh, hey, I have Wetsuit version 4. No, you have Wetsuit version 3 with a lazy paint job. Okay, you know, they just got sloppy. That's what was really irritating for the 90s. It was just a rush job. It really irritated me, as I was trying to catch up with what they had for that year, and then all of a sudden it was closed out, and I couldn't get the Joes that I was trying to get from that previous year, and they didn't have them anymore. And then started buying for the next year, and then I was looking at toy stores and asking the guys, hey, do you have such so and so from, you know, last year? No, we don't. They don't make them anymore. So I would have to go to a discount store, and hopefully they had it there. And sometimes I got lucky, and so I started shopping out outlet stores. KB had an outlet store at a outlet mall called VF Factory Outlet in Arizona at Power and Southern, and that's where I got a lot of my Joes at discount price. I bought my Swamp Fire there when it was discontinued. Bought a lot of Joes there actually that were no longer available on the pegs. They were sent over to discount stores. So I just started shopping there and got a lot of outdated Joes, and at a very decent price. That was Vincent Price's wife, decent price. Um, so yeah, I bought this wetsuit from Walmart. Absolutely loved him. He was my very first wetsuit. Um, I always loved wetsuit. Version 1, of course, was my favorite. My first exposure to wetsuit was the 1986 wetsuit, naturally. That was everybody's exposure. Any diver is I love any diver. He torpedo, absolutely. The only downfall for this wetsuit is the plastic. Be careful with him. The black plastic can become frail really quick. My original wetsuit version 2 became very brittle. I tried changing the O-ring, and when I was tightening the back, I didn't tighten it very tight, and his torso cracked, and the whole freaking thing just fell apart. I just got it finger tight, and the chest split. I mean, I just one turn to where it was tight, the chest cracked open. So be very careful with him. So I got online and bought another wetsuit. It was very disappointing. I was very upset. So this wetsuit you're looking at is not mine from my childhood, but I'm clinging on to this one and taking very good care of him. But the wetsuit that I had purchased, I remember I did get him from Walmart. 91. I was in my junior year of high school. I was working as a roofer. I don't know if you ever done roofing. Very tough job, especially if you're 6'3" and having to lean over while standing up for hours on end. Because I did use knee pads, but my jeans would wrinkle and give me blisters from the pants. My pants wrinkling underneath the knee pads, so I stopped wearing those. And without knee pads and kneeling down on scorching hot tiles or on shingles, even through your jeans, your knees would burn. So I had to stand on my feet and kneel or lean over. It got very, very difficult, and it was hard on your back and everything else. So having to lean over with a 6'3" frame, yes, I was 6'3" at 17, and hammer in or staple in shingles. It was a tough job. Or even tearing them off with a tool called a tear-off bar. It looked like a pry bar with prongs on it. The thing was only about so long. It was about 3 feet long, and you scrape and do this kind of thing to pull up any nails or nails or staples that held the shingles down. Leaning over is very hard on your back, and at the time I didn't know I had a heart condition, but that would cause me palpitations, so I would frequently have to stop, and I was being called a wimp and a sissy and getting yelled at because I'd have to stop and rest But long story, I'm getting off track. But yeah, it was very hard on my body. But I used my roofing money to buy my Joes. So I went into Walmart. At that time, if I went into, I remember this very vividly, if I went into the east side doors, I would pass by the snack bar, and off behind the snack bar they had their country western section, because country western was very big in the 90s. Garth Brooks, Pam Tillis, Reba McEntire, Bonnie Raitt, all the Alan Jackson, Garth Brooks, Billy Ray, all those singers were just at their peak. Billy Ray with his butt-long mullet, that sweet mullet, man. Gosh, Billy Ray could rock a mullet. All of those, country music was just right there. Country rock, I should say, was right there at its pinnacle. So everybody was a Walmart cowboy at school, walking around with big old belt buckles, claiming that they won them, roping cows and barrel racing and all this other stuff, when a year prior they were skaters. We called them Walmart cowboys. So they had that country western section with all the cowboy wear and those faux horsehair belts, the teal and black belts, and all that other stuff. And across from that was the toy section. And that's where I bought my Joes, was from there. And they had one aisle, one shelf that was all the budget toys, and right behind the budget toys were the Joes. 2 aisles full of Joes. And there was Wetsuit right there on the front peg. Without even looking at the rest of the Joes, boom, grabbed Wet Peg. Yeah, I grabbed the Wet Peg and I bought Wet Peg. Code name Peg Warmer. No, I grabbed Wetsuit. I held on to him with grim death. And I said, I'm just going to look at the other Joes just to see what they had. I wasn't going to exchange him for anything. And I did look through the other Joes and say, okay, cool. This guy's back, I'll buy him next payday. So I always limited myself to one Joe. So I made my $60 for an 8-hour day of hard labor. And headed off to the cashier. Paid for my Wetsuit, went over to the snack bar, got my hot pretzel and Coke, sat down, enjoyed my snack, and walked on home with a big old grin on my face because I had my Wetsuit finally. Very proud of myself. Walked in the door and my dad, of course, was, where you been? It's at Walmart. Oh, what's in the bag? G.I. Joe. What are you buying that shit for? Because I like it. Too old for that. Ben plays with them. Oh, okay. My little brother. He's 10 years old, 7 years my junior. So, my dad. Million questions. So anyway, that was my dad. Always the critic, grouch. So that's my story behind Wetsuit. Can't tell you what I had for dinner yesterday, but I could recall these childhood memories. Isn't that something? So anyway, here's Wetsuit, and thank you very much for this request. So let's go ahead and take a look at this fabulous action figure. Took up the first 15 minutes of the review for my childhood memory. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go ahead and get into this review. Alright, here he is, Wetsuit version 3. Version 2 was actually the Night Force wetsuit, which I didn't have, or don't have. I didn't have him complete. I recently sold him. Alright, so looking at his accessories. Go ahead and pop all these off real quick. Set him off to the side. He came with a harpoon gun. Has a fin here on the back. Has a scope on the front. I don't know how clear that would be underwater. Very large trigger guard. And you see that there's a harpoon here on the front. I don't know if I can get that to focus. There you go. Well, it does not want to focus. Here we go. You see some detailing on it. Not bad. I wonder if I turn the spotlight off. This camera is really freaking out on me. Okay, he has this gauge here on his leg. Not quite sure what it is, but it looks pretty cool. I'm sure it's some sort of a depth meter or a calculator of some sort. This serves a purpose in diving, and I'm sure these are regulators as well. He does have a hose here for an emergency flotation, and his dive knife down here on his leg. His suit, of course, is black, and here on his right arm he does have a yellow stripe. He's wearing yellow gloves, but no other stripes on his arms or legs. But everything else is yellow, so he does have those bright colors to stand out in the water, to be seen for rescue and for other divers to see him so they know where his position is. Don't quite like the look of him, of the hairdo on him. That I never did like the hairdo. I think they were going for the 90s mullet look. Don't quite like that, but otherwise the suit is fantastic. Later on they did use the body of Wetsuit for the Street Fighters, Guile. They used that for the I can't remember the title of it, but Guile had a dive suit. They just used the G.I. Joe bodies for the Street Fighter figures. But anyway, there you have it. Wetsuit version 3. And imagine him being orange, and we have the version 4 review as well. So there, we got version 4 and 3 wiped out. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this review for version 4. Yes, divers had always held a special place in my heart. I had mentioned this before. As a kid, I always wanted to be a diver. I love the water. So anytime I saw a diver in the G.I. Joe line, I wanted him. Any boat, I wanted it. I just think they're cool. Boats are fantastic. I love riding in them. I definitely don't want to own them. I've heard people say the happiest day when they buy a boat is when they buy it and when they sell it. Anytime in between is miserable because the maintenance is expensive. I see people out at the lake spending hours and hours and hours waiting at the docks trying to load their boat into the water. It's just a hassle. I just don't want that hassle, because if you want to keep it in the water, you have to pay an astronomical dock fee, and if you have the money, it's worth it. But a lot of people don't have whatever it is to store it at the dock. And there are people out here that live on their boats out at the lake, which would be nice. I would love to live on a boat, just out in the serene lake, away from the city. It's beautiful up in the mountain lakes, but it's pretty expensive to do so, and being so far away from grocery stores and whatnot, a few hour drive to get your groceries. So anyway, divers, G.I. Joe divers, I love them. But wetsuit version 1 is my favorite of the Joe divers. 1986 is my favorite line. If you're new to the channel, 86 is my favorite toy line. So let me know what you think about this diver, about version 3 of the wetsuit. Do you have him? Did you have him? Or do you want him? Please share your story with me. I would love to hear it. I answer back to all of your questions and comments. I love hearing from you guys. That's my favorite part of doing these reviews. As you know, I love sharing my stories with you about these action figures. If it's not my personal story, it's a story about experiences with my friends. These things trigger so many fond childhood memories, and I share these stories with you, and hoping to help you reminisce about your childhood. These toys were a big part of our childhood. Just wishing that our children played with them more and could have those similar childhood memories that we had, and enjoy those memories by sharing those memories with their children. So anyway, I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I've taken up enough of your time for today. So anyway, you take care. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated. These summer months are brutal, especially out here in Arizona. It was 113 degrees yesterday, relatively mild compared to last summer. We had 100 and some days of 118 degrees, and it was nuts. It was so hot our cactus were even dying. So this summer's been relatively mild, but it isn't over yet. August gets brutally hot. So you guys, you take care. Be kind to yourselves. You deserve it. You really do. Any problems that you are having, no matter how bad they seem, they will get better. They will. They may seem like mountains, but eventually they will turn into molehills. So, an ounce of kindness does go a very long way for anybody who is having problems. So be kind to them. Be kind to your animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. And don't forget to not neglect your toys. Be kind to your toys, because they have feelings too. So anyway, you guys stay safe, take care. We'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. And again, if you have a suggestion for a review, let me know. If I do have that toy, I will be more than happy to review that for you. Until next week, we'll see ya. Stay safe. And don't pick your nose, because your fingernails are dirty and you don't want to introduce what's underneath your fingernail up into a warm, moist environment. It's nasty. See ya. Bye-bye.